This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
Previously on Super GG Radio.
And then you also get little connectors to get two hooses into one hooze, so you get like the blue and red turns into a purple color of ink, and it shoots out the other end of the hooze.
Now it does make more sense to me because I'm like, man, why does that person in the Tesla not know what they're doing? And you've just pointed out it's because they're watching themselves drive and not actually drive. What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 250 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. We made it to 250. Who would have thought that after thousands of hours, NPR would keep us around? Yeah, that's right, NPR. We didn't forget about you. You forgot about us. I'm your host.
They don't know we're here.
Zesty Ranch of the podcast, Eric Eddie Gettinger. With me, as always, is an Eclipse special flavor out for a limited time, Alex Arona.
Thank you. I always wanted to be one of those spicy, whenever they come out, I buy them because I want to think that I am those fancy Lay's flavors. You know, like dirty Chicago sidewalk pizza that one time outside the bachelor party when I was sitting on a fire hydrant. Excellent flavor.
Or
hot dog water, less so, but that's okay. Fried pickles. Not bad. Not bad. That's how I feel about it. Fried pickles was excellent. As a Lay's flavor, I would say B to A tier.
Wow. But for real, I can almost taste hot dog water. I just like the way that it rolls off the tongue.
I'm pretty sure that's a Limp Bizkit album.
It did not roll off my tongue. Ugh.
Still there?
Mm-hmm. No, there's some hot dog Limp Bizkit BS, but whatever.
Chocolate starfish.
Maybe that's it. Also with us this week, after fighting his children, a very normal barbecue-flavored Joel DeWitte.
That's like the Super GG Radio of potato chips. I don't appreciate that. Can I go for like a good kettle chip or like
so mean.
A salt,
no.
Sea salt and vinegar?
No crunch.
Sea salt and vinegar kind of guy. Jalapeno chips. Those are pretty good.
You, sir, are not a jalapeno chip.
I am in spirit.
There are strays everywhere getting fired. Our podcast got a stray. Joel's catching strays. It's all. I mean,
we started with me fighting with my kids, so like we're already on the down slope.
Guys, I chose violence this week. I already called out NPR. So.
That's fine. I'll fight fire with fire. I'm feeling pretty punchy right now.
Good. Keep that energy.
Let's do this.
We need it. Cry all you want about being just regular barbecue. The most mid. Yeah, I use the word mid.
Someone used the word mid around me recently in a full serious tone, and I was like, "Who the heck are you?"
I've got a coworker in their 20s, and I hear he goes bet. Like he says bet, and I'm thinking, "Oh God, no, nope. don't lead me down that path."
That's okay. I got my kid earlier. She told me that yeet. Nobody says that anymore, apparently.
That sounds right.
And so I asked if yeet was cringe. Apparently, cringe has also been yeeted.
Cringe is out?
Yeah.
Cringe is out?
I feel like that's eternal.
Yeah. At least for now.
What are these kids even doing now?
Let me at least introduce the last member, sour cream and onion of the podcast, Alec Parks, to hold our crew together.
Delicious.
You know, a little salty, but I accept. Nothing to complain about here. No notes. A+.
Really?
Oh yeah.
C-tier.
Sour cream and onion is the best.
All right. Fantastic. I guess that means...
I'd say A tier.
C tier.
We can end the episode.
It has a weird aftertaste. I don't care for that potato chip.
This is a high note. This is the highest note that we're going to hit all night.
Oh, yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
I told you I poured a full glass of this pre-made Cosmopolitan. It's all going downhill from there,
Can
baby.
you hold up the glass? Or did you pour it into a mixing glass?
I did, and I've already drinking a good chunk of it. So because it was pretty close to the tippy top here. This thing came pre-mixed. I probably shouldn't.
I don't know if you can show the label. No, you can't.
The whole
Don't hold
thing.
that up.
Well, you could. The slurring is starting.
Call him for a sponsorship. That's all I'm
Nope.
saying.
Yep. But the sponsorships that we missed out on because of you guys. Boy.
Yep.
All right. Fine, you can have a normal podcast this week, but Alex can't use Google.
What? What if I already have?
From now on, you can't use it.
Okay. I feel like I have like 7 tabs open, and I feel like there's enough Googleable stuff already that I'm ready to go.
One of these days, he's going to get one of those Neuralink chips that they implanted in that one dude who used it to play Civ all night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
I think
just
it's
going to doodle in his brain.
That, or it's going to be like the opposite, where I'm just going to get real obnoxious with it and start saying, "Hey, sorry, sorry, hey, sorry, can you please tell me the definition of this?" And then it's just going to be chaos.
Why would you? I thought it was okay, Google, and then
I don't have a damn Android phone.
you think you're going to be able to
You got the
afford
green
Siri
You got
in
the
your
you're a
brain?
green bubbler.
Android
You're a green
is like the
bubbler.
Linux of phones.
You're a green bubbler, and no one likes you.
All right.
There, I said it.
I'm
No one likes
also a
the-
green bubbler.
I
And
know.
I accept my role.
Joel, I'm going to send you some gifts, and they're going to look real cool, and me and you're going to hang out in our blue bubble space.
Seamless.
You know that's actually a thing that people get real like they will like. There's like a joke on the internet where like I don't date any green bubble people.
I actually have seen that in profiles recently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The green bubble thing is like really people are really anti Android as far as like social spaces go. It's real stupid.
All
There
right.
you go, Getty.
It's real
There's your
console
tangent.
war.
Yeah. No.
Half of my texts don't even get to Getty, and I wouldn't know because he ignores me.
I just actively
Half-
ignore him.
He leaves
I get
you
those
on red.
texts. Don't be confused.
I wouldn't
I
know Joel because he has Android.
Actively choose not to look.
I wouldn't know. If
It'll
he
be
read it
like,
'cause
hey
he's on
man, what's
Android.
going on with this? 3 days later, what? Yeah,
He threatened to sick his sister on me. That's what he did.
yeah.
Is
Like,
she the
you okay?
enforcer?
She's
something.
She's something. All right.
Something.
You should be afraid. Constantly live in fear.
That's why my response was, "She's something."
All right. This week we're gonna get caught in some tight spaces. Maybe start some more rumors with the news. Then end everything. That's right. It's done. Just everything. It's over.
All sequels. All sequels all the way down.
Nope. You can't
No, it's
afford
worse.
sequels.
It's remakes.
We're gonna give Alex $3 to buy a game, and then he'll talk about it in 4 years.
I can do that in 30 minutes.
In 3 more years.
30.
3 more years and 30 minutes.
I don't know what this is referring to, but I don't like it.
Good. You shouldn't. You should feel personally victimized by your host.
They do.
And it's going to stay that way for the next 2 hours, because that's how long this podcast is going to run.
Get out of here, Steam notification. Of course, I'd rather be playing Hollow Knight with this person, whoever this is. Continue.
I don't know who that person is, but
I don't know. Who that
you know what I do know? I know something about early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games. Just what I needed. A grappling hook attached to each arm. Hey man, you see Grapple Galore?
Does this count as early
Did you-
adopters? Because it looks like it's out.
Did you
It's early
hear about
access.
this?
It's early access.
Okay.
There we go.
Have
It's on
you-
my list for beta breakdowns.
Have you
course it
grappled?
is.
Have you galored?
I did. I grappled and I galored quite a bit, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more, say no more.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, but
don't.
please say more. Please explain Grapple Galore.
So Grapple Galore is you have the physics essentially of gang beasts, but you can grapple and then you grab randomized weapons that you can sort of aim that are kind of, and you got to imagine you're flying through the air. So your aim is a very loose term. You're shooting in the general direction of what seems to be a blur of, well, I think that's a person over there. So let's see if I can. Oh, I killed somebody. Great. That and in a very kind of like a tight arena of like, oh, here's a bunch of buildings. You could fall to your death, but the other part is just jumping, grappling, swinging around like a. Is spaz a pejorative?
I don't
Maybe
think so.
Okay, so you're flying around like kind of like a spaz, just grappling and shooting different weapons from shotguns, grenade launchers, pistols, Uzis, what have you.
Offensive.
Fantastic. Yes, let's just say it into the microphone as we Google it. Let's just say you're all willy-nilly and goofy.
Yep, and it was just a lot of fun. And I think that's kind of where I was at with it. It was like, oh man, this is just it's just willy-nilly, loose controls. I'm just going buck wild, and that's kind of how I like my games. I like my games like I like life. I'm kind of gripping the edge and not sure if I have any control on anything that's happening.
Fast and loose. You live your life a quarter mile at a time, Vin Diesel.
But it feels like something I'm doing is happening. Like I feel like I have an effect on something, but not sure what.
Yeah, and you're street racing for VHS players.
So that's how I feel about Grapple Galore. I don't feel like, even when I'm like, oh, I got to the edge of a building and I jump to get up on it, I don't know if I'm actually jumping properly or am I just like kind of flopping. But the shooting feels stupid. Which is also a thing. Like I was like, oh, I have this awesome pistol, and there's no like actual grip strength, so you just fire, and all of a sudden it just goes wah, and your arm just goes flying everywhere. You're like, well, this doesn't have any aim at all. That's not helpful. But I killed a couple guys. I got killed a bunch, and at the end of the day, I jumped into a match, and it was just free for all firing of rockets and machine guns that I was like had no clue what I was doing. I killed 3 people, and then somehow the match ended, and then said, "Oh, this person won, but you did all right." And I was like, "Well, okay, I'm sure. Sure, I believe what you're telling me. I have no wherewithal to argue those statistics. I just fired, and I guess I killed people, and somehow I died. Grapple Galore."
And everybody else played this too, right?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what to add to that though.
Do you have it?
That was pretty comprehensive.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. I'm like, am I ridiculous or am I right? Like that.
And you can tell there are people that have been playing this for a while because they are speed demons throughout the entire thing and will just snipe you out of nowhere. By the way, we should probably not use the word spaz anymore, just for reference on that.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank
no
you.
problem. We're gonna correct in real time. This is absolutely something dumb that a group of people can have fun playing. Because the lobbies are 8 people, so that gives the opportunity to gather a nice large size of people. The fact that it's free to play helps a lot, and I think that's probably why there were enough lobbies to find people. I do hope that this continues to find an audience, because I would really love to see where they go with what they've got right now. If you want to do the comparison to Dane Beasts, getting into like more of the costumes, the kind of floppy movement, like add some fist fighting element to it, right? Or some throwing in things. Did you guys get grappled or grapple onto another player?
I got that trophy where I was grappling just wildly, and all of a sudden I threw a grapple, and it was on a person, and my grapple was like I was holding on, but I was moving without doing anything. And then later on, I was grappling, and all of a sudden there was a rope on my butt, and I just kept moving along as that person held on for dear life. It was good.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
Pure anarchy. Or Grapple Galore. Whatever you want to call it. So let's reel it back in and, calm down, but not get too calm, because we also played Knights in Tight Spaces. So, in comparison, flying around all over the place to Knights in Tight Spaces, where you're barely moving.
Slow or you're trying methodical. To move. It's contemplative.
And then getting wailed on by a dude with a giant axe. So, Knights in Tight Spaces. Did anybody play the original Tight Spaces?
I played the demo for Tight Spaces.
Quite a bit. I played quite a bit. And
And,
I liked what I played a lot. I still go
and
back there every once in a while. It's always
That
seen
is a run-based card battler of sorts.
Yes,
So-
it is a run-based card battler. You get different moves that will put you. You're on a grid, and your character will be in a fight, like a very small, tight grid, and there'll be enemies there. You can kind of see if like an enemy has a gun, it'll put in a direction, say they're going to shoot in 2 turns, and you can move. You can like do a thing where you grapple somebody, flip their position, and put them in the path of the bullet. You can do different attacks, and they're all based on these sets of cards that you have. As you progress through the run, you will get new cards, upgraded stats, etc. Now they have medieval weaponry, mostly melee with some bow and arrow thrown in, and also some class-based stuff, which is kind of interesting. Right? Would that put it in the right spot?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we evolved from super spy going around killing people to a tabletop adventure of sorts. You can pick your class. There were 3 to choose from, if memory serves. So, like an adventurer, like a fighter, and then... Was there a mage?
Sort of
Did anybody play the
Sorcerer?
mage?
I didn't see
Sorcerer?
a mage. Okay, I must have overlooked that.
There was definitely
Joel's
a
like, I don't
fireball.
know
I saw a
magic.
fireball get thrown.
I picked
Yeah.
I picked the first one and went with it. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I felt like the first 2 seemed more similar than anything else. And then the third one was like, that's too spicy for me. I went with the fighter, and then tried out some of the different skills and abilities. I do like that you build a party in this iteration for Knights in Tight Spaces. So as you're adventuring along, it's like, hey, do you want to enlist this archer? Like, yeah, I guess an archer would be fine. And it's like, what about this sorcerer? Like, okay. It'd be nice to have somebody throwing fireballs across the map. At the same time, your enemies are also varied in that way. You'll have a couple of guys with, like, I think that was just straight, like, staves, like bow staves.
Yeah.
Those guys sucked. You kill them pretty fast. But again, a lot of the stuff is telegraphed to the moves that your enemies are going to use. If you move to the other side of the map, then you can get out of the way, dodge some attacks, and then counter with whatever cards you draw. Since it's a party of characters, you still only have like three movement, or not movement actions, but 3 play actions.
Yes.
The action points, yeah.
Yeah, some of the cards will vary in the cost, so you got to keep an eye on that. And then, move your people around so they don't get caught in a big old sweaty guy sandwich of maces and axes.
Yes, because something that this also brings to the table with that party is the free attacks that you get.
Sometimes the cards cost 0, right?
No,
He's
if-
talking about positioning.
Yeah, if your party is in line, that they can also hit the character that you're hitting, the enemy that you're hitting, they will get a free attack to go along with whatever card you played, which was a fun new dynamic that was added with the party system.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you hit somebody, if there's a character right next to you within range of the enemy, you hit the enemy, they will also hit the enemy. That's a bonus damage all around.
Yes.
A few questions I have here. Compared to the first game, in the first game, do you have a cast of people to play as, or is it just you are
Just you.
John
It's a
Wick?
ju-
It's a
type?
secret agent.
It's John Wick better than the John Wick video game.
Oh,
There was a
game.
Yes, but Fights in Tight Spaces better.
Okay, all right. Did it have that kind of branching path stuff, or was it just a direct next level kind of thing?
Branching path.
Okay, all right.
Was it awesome? Yes. Yes, it was.
Should it
Yes,
be
it
on
was.
sale for cheaper?
No.
Also, yes.
Never. It will never be cheaper.
50%
It will, just
off,
not yet.
or I will never play it.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
I liked it. I bought
I liked it.
That's not a qualitative statement. That's a quantitative statement from my wallet.
Joel's been paying a hefty fee just to appear on this podcast. We charge him to come every week.
It's funnier how he rolls that as a freelance. Like he does a freelance work order. Like he sends us like, well, here's my bill, here's my PO.
It's supposed to be net 30, guys. Come on.
I invoice you every time. There you go.
Nobody's making you do it, okay?
I'm gonna start charging interest.
I asked him to be on one beta breakdown, and he's like, here's the invoice.
The only interest you're getting is that which you acquire in Balatro.
Oh,
Nice.
if that was real money, my God.
It's not. You
But
can never
it
have
could
that
be.
dollar.
It could be.
You'll never have that dollar.
It is for
I'm
the
sorry.
maker of Balatro.
Yeah.
I'm so buying it on my phone when it comes out.
Oh, I'm buying it right away. Day one. Alex, day one Arona on Balatro on your phone. Call it, Getty.
Making that a reality.
Call it.
I'm not calling... I've already established that you're Alex Day 1 Arona.
There you go.
Every single game. Day 1.
No.
Day one.
No. I'm making calls on my day one Arona-ness.
No. Stellar Blade, Day 1. When you boot it up, Day 473.
Thought Phase
keeping
7
up for a
Rebirth,
year?
day one,
Okay.
baby. Still haven't even taken off the shrink wrap. Nailed it. I have taken the shrink wrap off.
No. Why would you do that? It loses value.
Yeah, that just means you have to trade in for use credit instead of just
Now they're
returning
making
$50
After I
$50
play it,
value.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play these games.
All I'm saying is keep your receipts. That's all.
I'm gonna play these games.
Try and get a tax write-off. It's for my job.
Games.
It's my job to be awesome at video games. So anyway, let's go ahead and quick punch, then slip out of here into a break. This is the news with Super GG Radio, now with 150% more indies. Holy cow, guys! Did you hear about the Triple I Initiative presentation that happened this last week? Well, if you didn't, Joel's going to tell you.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it out loud. Barfing cat emoji. Like
The other part.
You're not a fan of the name? Is that what I
the
understand?
name. And I was corrected by one Stephanie from the Tinsley PR folk that there is some internal speak that like they denote I versus I versus I, and it's like a budgetary thing. But I'm sorry, you saying we're the Triple I Initiative makes you kind of seem like you're holier than thou a little bit. Just saying, there's a sort of sense of pedigree that these people are giving themselves that I don't approve of.
All opinions said here are from those of Joel and not of the Super GG Radio podcast.
How many eyes would be okay?
One.
Oh, how many eyes would be okay?
One.
Okay.
1 or 10. Whatever can't be taken seriously.
I mean, to be fair, they have only one technically.
That's
No,
triple.
I don't
because
like
it's called
that.
Well,
Triple I.
there's one in triple. There's one in the letter I, and then initiative. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So that's a total of.
Are we turning into Wheel of Fortune? Like we're scrutinizing the entire sentence and trying to call for vowels?
Kind of.
RSTLNE.
This is definitely a Alex bit. So, anyway, Triple I Initiative had a presentation this week where they debuted a bunch of indies. So we're going to talk about some of them, all of
Can I-
them.
These aren't even all of them. These are the good ones. So that means that there were a lot of non-good
great.
ones. But at this, and you don't have to hit all of these either. But the one thing I do want to,
If you're one eye, you're trash. Pure garbage. You should be ashamed of yourself. Quit game dev.
don't listen, Buckshot Roulette. You're amazing, and I'm okay paying the $2.50 to get you. I will gift you to friends.
No, just a cheap knockoff of the greatest card game ever made. Nice try.
Inscription.
Buckshot
Inscription.
Roulette.
Now that's
no,
that's a
live.
triple I game.
Oh God.
I'm so confused on what is happening right now.
Buckshot Roulette is more than half the game that Pilatra wished it was.
Joel,
I'm
you better be sipping on some
downgrading it to
cola
a
right
half eye. I'm sorry.
Whoa! Live downgrading happening live. The
I don't know what's happening.
the one hot take I saw from this was that if anything this Triple I initiative taught you is that, hey, you know those little interstitial narrator across the Nintendo indie events? Mm-hmm. Those are really kind of necessary. Like, this had no like narrator. It just occasionally had a video that said, like, a little like image with text that said, you're watching the Triple I initiative presentation, and, like, with no words, no sound, just text. Next trailer. Oh, here's another words. You're watching the Triple I next trailer. It just kept like hitting you so hard that it didn't. There was no cognitive glue, and that's what I feel like. That was a good hot take on Twitter. I was like, oh, you know what? It did feel like it was missing just a little something.
You want
but how about that?
Yeah,
how
or
about
someone
that
is
pot shot
like,
that was taken at Silk Song, though?
Was there?
Yeah, there was a loading screen that was like, hey, what's that game with the bug that sounds really cool? Wish I could play it.
I missed that. That sounds awesome.
The problem is if they got a narrator or host for the entire thing, it would need to add another eye to it. I don't know if they can afford another eye. That might be one too many.
Get it together. All right, Getty, hit me and I'll tell you what they're about.
Okay. Sure, let's do it that way. First, I need to know what Joel is drinking.
Guinness.
Nailed it.
It's a Diet Coke. You heard him say it. Diet Coke.
It's not a Cosmo.
I think it'd be more like Dr. Pepper color there than Diet
So
Coke.
thick.
You can't call it Dr. Pepper. You have to refer to it as a DP.
Can I bleep that out?
Nope, you sure can't.
Steve, every time, he's like, hey, Rhoda, I'm coming to your house. Make sure you stock up on the DP. And I was like, all right, Steve, I got you. He does. He's, hey, Rhoda, I'm coming over. Can you get me some DP? Okay, I'll get you some Dr.
Sometimes
Pepper,
he doubles down on the DP.
Yeah, I don't know why he has to say it that way. He could just say Dr. Pepper, but you know what? Whatever, man. Sure.
He doesn't have time to explain what he doesn't have time to explain. All right.
Hit me.
Shadow of a Doubt goes 1.0.
So this was an early access game. I had kind of in our beta breakdowns that we have set to do. This was on the dock for a while, so this one's now off the dock. Open world voxels a la Minecraft. But imagine it is a noir detective thriller, and they kind of give you these procedurally generated mysteries, and you have to go door to door and question suspects and find clues to put together, and you have like a big board that you can tie string on, and you have to solve the crimes. It's kind of wild. It's really open in how you have to handle it, and you have to try to think like a detective and do things like sneak onto fire escapes or try to break into someone's house, but also try to convince the other person to help you, or interrogate the right person and how you do it. That kind of stuff. You really are trying, like, there's a lot to it and a lot for you to discover. So Shadow of a Doubt is a big one. Going 1.0 is awesome.
I love murder boards.
Yep.
You said we have to do all these, right?
No, I said absolutely not. I said you pick your favorites.
I don't have any favorites, so we're going right down the line.
Okay.
I will just
Gestalt. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I was going to say, Vampire Survivors with Contra. Yes. Thank you.
What about Streets of Rogue 2?
That is very fun. Streets of Rogue was a top-down, imagine old original Grand Theft Auto. Now, they would give you different missions, but then they also just came out with, like, say, 20 different random classes. And the one I saw that was really unique was that you start the game and you're a comedian. And they're like, oh, get your friend out of jail. And you can talk your way through it and make people laugh. But the laugh, like, you press a button and all of a sudden you spit, like, words, and all of a sudden the people laugh or they get mad at you. And so that's like the comedian job. But you can also just be a tank and rip open the wall. So like the game, you pick a class and then the game gives you quests and you figure out how to do it. And it's, again, all of these different options. It's very open and plays to what you want to try. It gives you the opportunity to try all these things. And there is a Streets of Rogue 2. So.
Okay. What the Car? I assume that's another version of What the Golf?
There's What the Golf, What the Bat. I think there's a What the Plane. I gotta Google. There's another one. What the Car is actually what we call in Apple jail. There are a bunch of really good games on Apple.
Who calls that?
Twitter.
What's Twitter?
Don't make me say it.
Yeah, you have to say it.
No. So when a game is on Apple jail, it's really good on Apple Arcade, but Apple Arcade won't put games out unless it, they have to pay a lot of extra to get them off of Apple Arcade into main games. One of the guys who made Chrono Trigger has a game on Apple Arcade that's stuck in Apple jail. What the Car is one of the ones that is now escaping Apple jail into modern platforms. What the Car.
What the Car. We have a special correspondent here to tell us about Darkest Kingdom. Alec?
Yeah, so Darkest Kingdom is a new update that's coming for Darkest Dungeon 2, where you have to maintain a safe haven of inns throughout the kingdom, and yeah, that's kind of what they gave us.
It's a city builder, but also now with more bonus dungeons and different stats, more stat boosts and stuff like that you would get normally from building up your different specific buildings of the town.
Yeah, it looked like there were skill trees that went with it, with the building of the town, but it was kind of glossed over.
Yeah. Cool. Free update.
Yeah. Go get it now so that you can get your free update.
Is that out yet?
Well, go play it to see if you like it, and then maybe play the DLC. Mm-hmm. The free update. Next one is for me. Is this supposed to be pirates or what, like cat pirates of the Caribbean? Whatever it is. Cat Quest 3. It's got cats. Go do cat stuff as pirates. That's it. You don't get to talk, Alex.
We're on the press list for this one.
Good. I need my cat quest. I burned through those.
Yeah. That's why I got it.
It's a way of life. Wizard of Legend 2. It was also Alec?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, you guys remember that game that we played during Extra Life?
I remember the game that we played, and we were awesome at it.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good game.
It's a good game.
It's getting a sequel. It's got 3D graphics now and up to 4-player co-op.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. All the insanity.
So many Guardian Downs.
Do we have a date for this?
No date has been announced yet.
I am so ready to ruin all your guys' day with that.
Alec, keep a tab on this one, do you mind? And let's watch it for Extra Life.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Guardian Down. Mm-hmm. For Alex, Pal World Arena, because he definitely wanted to have Pokemon battles with his pals.
Yeah, Pal World, I mean, well, I don't. Pal World, the animals don't really, they kind of just do whatever, so I'm kind of curious how this works. So we'll see. Pal World Arena.
All right. Mouse, the Steamboat Willie first-person shooter.
What makes this cool is that imagine if you would play Doom, but now imagine in the world of Cuphead. That sounds like a blast. And I'm in on that. So Mouse.
Didn't we play this like a demo before? I feel like we played a demo of this.
Some Steamboat Willie thing because everybody had betas out for Steamboat Willie.
That was this was actually during Next Festival. We never played it for the podcast, but you probably played some of it for Next Fest.
You're probably not wrong.
Yep. I'm pretty positive it was on our list somewhere. So
I play too many games during that time.
Some list.
Next
somewhere.
Fest is kind of a blur for everybody involved here.
No. I enjoy my time off. It's nice. Prince of Persia, the Rogue, from the Dead Cells team.
Hey, remember that rumor I told you about a week or two ago?
No.
I can pull up the doc.
We don't comment on rumors or speculation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as it turns out, that we were correct on that rumor of the Dead Cells team making a Prince
Who's
of
we?
Persia.
Who's we?
Me! And Getty hates
You
it.
started this rumor?
No.
Okay, so then
I reported on this rumor on this show, and you hated it.
I heard somebody talk about something, and I talked about it.
And then you were like, I hate rumors. And I said, okay.
I
Okay,
appreciate in the episode doc, we have things segmented off by news, rumor
Yeah, now
mill.
it says rumor mill.
You're
Yeah.
welcome!
Yeah, I appreciate
That's-
the clear denotation of that at least.
That's on me. You're welcome. Because Getty hates rumors. Confirmed.
Yeah.
But in this case, Prince of Persia, the Rogue from the Dead Cells people. It looks kind of Dead Cells, but really with like a cartoon aesthetic. It looks very much like you're playing a Saturday morning cartoon. I don't know if I love the look of it, but I will say I do see Dead Cells in it. In fact, like the movement, there are things like you drop bombs and it like emanates like a radius of how much damage it's going to do or how far it's going to reach. There's also different traversal skills, slides, ducking, rolling, but then also there's sometimes be a wall, a flat 2D wall behind you, and you can walk across it. It just, all of it's just kind of a neat, different little look of the whole game. So I don't love the look. I will tell you though that I trust the Dead Cells team. Carte blanche, whatever you need.
It's going to come down to the feel of motion. I mentioned this a little bit in a different chat, but the character in that preview, his animation looked like it was hinges on an arm instead of actually like fluid motion. So it had this kind of weird bop as it was walking along that felt really rigid. So I don't love that, and I would say that Dead Cells, what it did a really good job of is feeling really, really fluid
and real snappy.
Smooth. So I'm curious to see what it plays like.
Seeing this, people have said it feels real good. People have come back from a preview event saying A+, this looks great, and so I trust them intrinsically. Go ahead, team. I believe you. This will be good. Cool.
This one does have a release date of May 14th.
Ooh, early access.
There you go.
Dead Cells was in early access for like a year, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Remember, if it has the right kind of mouth feels, then Joel is on board.
That's not
Good
what I
balance.
said at all.
You were the one who was always talking about the mouth feels you get from your amiibos, so I just kind of figured that was what we were talking about now.
I just like chewing on plastic.
That's Griffin McElroy. It's a whole other channel.
Is it?
May
Yes,
we
Griffin
may
McElroy.
we be as popular as the McElroy brothers?
Well, they may be at C2E2, so I'm working on an interview. And
He's working on something, all right.
trying to get
But
them to
you-
be on the show. We'll see.
You know what I'm working on? Slay the Spire 2.
Yeah, you are. 2025,
Announced
Getty.
for early access in 2025. There's a whole separate news.
Oh,
bullet point
yeah.
here.
I think that what happened was I missed a piece of the III initiative, and apparently that was when they announced Slay the Spire. And so I thought it was a separate news story that had happened. But no,
It
apparently.
is. It's a whole separate news.
You were so
It's
excited for Slay
happening.
the Spire 2? I should play Slay the Spire 1.
I was playing some Slay the Spire earlier today.
Nice.
I think I have it. It's one of those few games that I have on multiple systems. Multiple?
It's a weird sentence.
Well,
You don't
hey,
have a game like that?
75% off right now.
You should get it. Did you get it?
I'm getting it right now.
Nice.
You know what else you can get? WoW Classic. You gonna get your Cataclysm update. Alex can finally play Cat.
I know, I
World
never
of
played Cat.
Warcraft.
There's a reason I put this in there, and that's for the real dumb reason that they made WoW Classic because people didn't want the whole world. Because Cataclysm reshaped the entire World of Warcraft world.
Yeah. I was
So,
there.
They made a WoW
seen it.
Classic so people could play the original world versus the cataclysmic destroyed world. And so they're like, you can go back to old WoW by going to WoW Classic. And now they're like, oh, we've updated WoW Classic to the point that now we're just going to destroy the world again. And it's like, what are you going to do now? Create WoW Classic? It doesn't.
It does. That's what EverQuest did. And is still doing.
These people just want to run the same dumb treadmill and
Yeah,
don't want anything new.
That's all you do is you just keep making new servers that start at a certain expansion, and you just keep re-releasing them in cadence, and people will keep paying for it and buying these things.
So dumb.
Well, in this case, they just
So
pay
dumb.
for it.
In this
they
case,
don't have
they
to.
just pay
They
for
don't
it,
have to
yeah.
buy any of it.
It's just so insanely ridiculous that this is where we're at. We're like, we did this already. Like, why did you update WoW Classic?
Do you think
Leave
there's
it
an
at
opportunity
base.
for some of these people to have a second look at Cataclysm and be like, I was too harsh on you. You weren't as bad.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I never played Cataclysm. I stopped at what is it called?
The frozen, icy
Throne.
guy.
Frozen Throne. I was gonna say Frostmourne, but that's the sword. Frozen Throne. Yes.
Definitely the coolest cinematic.
Okay.
It's badass.
All right. Last piece of real news. Substantiated news? Factual news. There we go.
How dare you?
Bethesda adding performance improvements and graphical fidelity updates to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X on Fallout 4. I feel like that could have been worded differently, but that's right. Fallout 4 is getting performance improvements. 60 FPS? Maybe?
All I've got to say is that it
You
started as a
are not
link,
going to play it.
and I actually wrote it out into a sentence. You're welcome.
Did not write it out well, but you wrote it out in a sentence.
Progress.
Good work.
It's progress.
Progress. Yeah.
No, don't fix that. Don't fix
I fixed it. I fixed it, Kenny.
Kuberated.
There you
Kuberated.
go. Well, I thought it was co-operated.
Oh.
No, it's corroborated.
Operated in my brain.
So then it's not a rumor. If that makes it true. If
Now,
they-
when I wrote this, it was one way, and then the next day, it got this. Continue.
When did you add this?
I added this on
March 11th.
Wednesday, and today they corroborated.
Today is Thursday.
Yeah, so
The cleaning lady doesn't get here until Monday. So
hit
by
me,
then.
hit me with the news.
So this is not a rumor. It has been corroborated.
Well, hold on. Say it, and then I'll explain. It's very stupid.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
Dead
Corroborated.
Space 2, yeah. Corroborated. Dead
Collated.
Space 2 remaster canceled due to lackluster sale of Dead Space 1 remake. Now EA corroborated.
So they didn't say, "Hey, you're correct." This broke that Dead Space 2 has been canceled due to the lackluster sales, and they said, "Hey." EA came out and goes, "We never really started on it, so that's not we didn't cancel it. We're like maybe we'll do the sequel," and then we looked at the sales and went, "You know what? No, people like Battlefield, right?" And so they didn't say, "Oh yeah, we canceled it." They said, we were looking at it like we look at every game, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, didn't even start it. So it's like that doesn't count as canceled because we never even started it.
So it is, in fact, the rumor was false because they never even started it.
They saw the sales being that bad, and then said, "Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm
Best
I'm
friend
with
of the
you.
podcast, Jeff Grubb, is the one that broke this news.
And I talked
friend.
That's what happens when you've got an audience. Like, your opinions have sway, and you have sources, and you speak something, and then it's knives out. So,
and so the way EA put it was like, no, we didn't cancel it. We just looked at all the stuff and we said no.
we're arguing semantics. That's really all
It's
it is.
awesome.
Canceled
Yeah.
it.
No,
We
that's
never
the
even
that's
started
the
it.
joke of the whole thing was that it was just like EA came out and goes, "No, guys, don't worry," and everyone like I saw our friend of the actual friend of the podcast, Lexi, posted said, "Hey EA, this doesn't make it better. This is not. This doesn't make it. This isn't an explanation that makes everyone feel good."
You're not helping. Dig
So-
up.
Let me lay out a scenario for you. Alex didn't eat that whole cake because he just decided not to. But in reality, there wasn't even a cake.
Nope.
All right, got it.
That's a
I
great
looked at it and
analogy,
said,
actually.
"No cake."
Now I'm really sad about there not being cake.
Thanks, Alex.
No
I'm
problem.
more of a cookie cake kind of person.
Depending, there are some real dry cakes.
Yeah.
Like no one wants a dry ass cake.
Yeah. Like, it's hard to screw up a cookie cake. It's just a big cookie with frosting.
That's cake.
No one likes dry ass
Where's
cake.
the
Andy.
hyphen in there?
What about
It's because
pie?
he's got a wet mouth, okay?
I got the wettest mouth of all of America. Everyone says this.
It's drool flowing out of your
Episode title.
mouth.
Episode title: I have the wettest mouth. Everyone says it.
Writing
Everyone
that down.
says it.
If that doesn't get viewership and listenership up, I don't know what will. All right. The true,
is a dumb
amazing, and
podcast.
best part of the podcast, the freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies!
Let's go through the free games this week that you can go pick up at any of, well, specifically at the places where we're going to tell you.
I was gonna say what?
Just go down to the corner store and you can get a copy of Ghost Runner.
Get yourself a Lucy, Lucy Ghost Runner.
Get yourself a copy of Ghost Runner over on the Epic Game Store. Do we have to explain what Ghost Runner is?
No.
First-person parkour samurai cyber shooter killer, cool guy.
I
Nailed
didn't
it.
shoot anything when I played.
Did you? Okay. Hit me. Next.
I'm trying, man.
I know.
Spells and Fellas over on Steam.
It seems like the theme of freebies this week is top down. Top down, you are wave based. You're in an arena as enemies slowly wave towards you, and you are casting spells. Multiplayer is a factor, so that's lots of fun. But you get a little spell bar, and you're just trying to manage your cooldowns while trying to manage the oncoming horde. Spells and fellas.
All right. Next up is Casual Pixel Warrior on Steam.
Same thing, but even less graphics. This looks like an 8-bit game, but it's also very similar. Survive the waves, buy weapons and ammo, unlock new stages, purchase companions, solve daily quests, and get rewards. Casual Pixel Warrior is a wave shooter where your endurance to last an infinite fight depends on your skill, unlocked weapons, and purchased ammo.
Next, World War II Squad Level Land Battles SSP. Wow.
Same
That is
thing.
That's a
mouthful.
name.
Same thing, but even less. So this is top down, and it's. Okay, hold on.
Oh, you
that's
broke
fine,
Alex.
It's fine.
Take a breath.
It's fine.
Spells and Fellas was kind of 3D top down.
Okay.
Casual Pixel Warrior, pixelated top down. Now we're at the point with World War II Squad Level Land Battles SSP. We are at here's the square. That cube is one of your minions. You're now creating war games where you're moving around and fighting off hordes of enemies. A war game for hold on, I'm gonna read this. A war game for grognards.
Okay.
It's a little bit complicated for the average user. It is chits representing the units. The combat is decided by dice rolls and modifiers. It is 2D top-down with a fantastic AI. It's really giving you the selling points there in just the description alone. So this is more of like a war-based top-down, trying to plan out your units to fight off enemies. But this is very, very complicated, or at least a little bit more strategic in that point.
Yep.
Yep.
Like that is the thing that just happened.
Yep.
Last up, Demon's Tilt on Prime Gaming. So you have to have an Amazon Prime in order to get this.
Who
Okay, so
doesn't?
that's a question, Getty. Is that count as a freebie?
I don't think so
No.
because it requires a membership.
If there's
Or
an
a subscription?
asterisk or caveat to it, then it's not free.
Out. Okay, it's out. We're not talking about Demon's Tilt,
All right.
which is like a
But
demonic
if you do have
pinball
Amazon
game.
Prime, maybe get Demon's Tilt.
demonic pinball game. Looks a lot of fun.
Okay. I think we need a couple of minutes to refocus, and then we'll probably be back with our last segment. So see you in a moment. Oh, we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog, where we play sequels to games. This is it. That's it. That's what we do. And
You can
tonight-
tell it's boring because I wrote this intro.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? We're playing sequels to games.
It's called Sequel the Game.
Yep. Sequel to game, the sequel.
Oh, I would play that. Payday 2 VR. Alex, how many times did you hurl?
I did not hurl. The question is, how many times did I punch something that was in my house?
Wait,
There you go.
hold on. Animated objects or inanimate objects? How many
Wait,
people did
what?
you punch?
Poor Penny.
What? Oh no, Penny got she got
She got kicked.
kicked. I feel really guilty
Aw.
about that. I stopped the game and I was like, I got to talk to Penny the pup and make sure she's okay here because I was all over the place. It's all over the place. I punched my TV for sure. I had to turn it on to make sure everything was good. I punched the wall. I kicked the coffee table. It was all a mess. Payday
We gotta
2.
get you a space for this.
Yeah, I need
Listen,
space.
man.
I need more space. I mean, on the plus side, the other things that I were kicking were like dollies, and I was like, "That is fine. Get out of my face, Elsa. I don't need you in my space." Yeah. So, Payday 2 last week, I discovered that apparently there's a Payday 2 VR like DLC that's free, that was a dumb idea. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is like. And then I realize, oh, it's just Payday 2. Except for now I have like what is it called, Joel? You portal around, or what is it? You point to
Yeah, teleport.
Yeah, I teleport. Yeah, you teleport to move. But it's like if I look down on my waist, it's just a menu. So I can
Ooh.
pick grenade off my menu and throw it. I can pick different, like, oh, this is my ammo cache case and put it down. I reload, and reload just takes a second while the clip comes out slowly and then goes back in slowly. And I'm like, all right. And I'm ducking and weaving, and as any Payday mission, like Getty, we just played Payday 3. You hadn't really played a lot of Payday. How did Payday 3 devolve for you?
How did it do? Well, I knew a little bit about what was going to happen, but I think it was our second game that we played where we made it a decent amount of time in before all hell broke loose.
But now, when all hell breaks loose, how do you feel in that moment?
Like a badass.
But also, do you feel like completely disoriented, like everything around you is on fire? Like there's just people like tasing you and shield enemies, and everyone, like people are jumping through the windows, and there's snipers coming through the windows.
You're just describing a normal day at work for me, so
Now,
I thrive under pressure.
but it's fun and entertaining when it's VR. It's a whole thing because I'm just playing like I would play Payday very wildly, where I'm running
Because
back and forth,
the thing
ducking.
is happening all around you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could see why that'd be super confusing, especially if you're getting shot in the back.
Yeah, and you get tased right? And there's enemies coming up the stairs, but enemies jumping through the windows, and you're trying to like fix the drill, and I'm here like, oh, reload faster, hide behind the table. Oh no. And you teleport with the left stick to kind of move around the different points, but I'm also just moving my body in the space, the very small amount of space that I do have. And so I'm like, oh no, they're coming out of the ceiling. Ram my shins into coffee table. Oh no. Okay. The sniper squad duck behind that's the dog. Oh, I feel bad now. Reload quicker. Throw the bag. Punch TV. Ow. Okay.
Can we invest in some like haptic feedback for Alex? So when he gets tased, he gets tased.
and we have somebody in chat that says when you unlock the akimbo weapons, you can shoot with both hands in different directions. Sounds absolutely sick to be just two-handed firing weapons in all directions. I can't imagine any more chaos than this game already gave me. And it's the teleporting, so like there's no jump button. So I'm just trying to like port around, and the guys who were playing with me, because it's I guess you don't know, in Payday it's a four-man team. Team, and the AI is entirely broken and has been since day one, and they've
still awful, right?
They've never fixed it. So it's all just the community. So I jump into a game and it is full on the 100% community, and I'm just like, oh, thank God, because these guys are running this all the time. They're running these missions all the time. So when I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it in VR, and I'm pretty sure that they're playing on PC just normal, and I came in here as a VR plebe. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm the most obnoxious player they've ever experienced because I can only turn slightly and move in jumps that are very disorienting.
I feel like there's a Extra Life stretch goal here where Alex plays this in VR and we just throw shit at him.
I went back again. I did one mission and I was like, that is bonkers. And I hit myself and hurt myself. I should probably do this again. I was just like, I gotta keep going. Because these people, like, I couldn't jump, and there was you gotta get to the helicopter on the top of the roof, and they're jumping on the backs of like the doors and kind of like, skyrimming up the roof, and I'm like, I can't. That's just not a thing this game lets me do. And they found it, like, they literally led me and did the little emotes. This way, come on, this way, this way, this way, this way. Like leading me slowly to a point where I didn't need to jump, walking up this slight slope to get me on the roof. And I was like, oh, these guys are just saints. These guys are just the nicest people ever. And they're putting up with me. This is awesome. And I was just so happy about the entire experience because it was just as dumb and chaotic and just ridiculous as I would have wanted from a Payday in VR. So yeah, and yeah.
So they can definitely tell when you're in the VR, the flat players. Your arms move in VR, your character model, in where they don't in the flat world.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just. I know the entire time I looked ridiculous because I was like, oh, there's a gun. It looks really weird. And like my hand, and I'm moving around and I was like, just throw the grenade. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing because I don't know I'm throwing a grenade. I'm just kind of like gripping this trigger, and I'm like, I don't know what this does. And then all of a sudden I hear explosions, and I'm like, oh, wait, I'm throwing grenades all over the place for no reason. But just in general, and which... Every time I'm going to reboot up Payday 2. I'm like, which button is... Oh, wait, I just threw 7 grenades. My bad. Which is normal. So the VR didn't seem to be anything different. I think that I was very happy and very lucky to play with the people that I played with. I will probably jump back into this. I did not feel motion sickness because I really wasn't fighting the urge to move around because I kept hitting stuff just in the world. By actively trying to duck and hide and deal with the action, I wasn't trying to walk. So the teleport just was the thing. I think that this is... I feel like porting stuff to VR doesn't always work, and I feel like Payday was like Payday on its own. All four of us play Payday. It's dumb as hell. We're gonna be crazy. We're gonna be out of control, and we're gonna be doing stupid stuff. Put that in VR. It felt very similar.
Didn't lose anything in translation. Perfect.
Yeah. That's how I felt. I felt like it was good. I enjoy as much as I enjoy Payday 2, I enjoy Payday VR just as much.
Well, that's not all. We got one more game to talk about tonight.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what it's called?
Reparations
Not
for me
tonight.
not being here last year or week. Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Wow. What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, that's called erasure, boys and girls. Not Tonight 2 is a sequel to Not Tonight, which is a game that I played several years ago and reviewed for Nintendo World Report. Apologies to Nintendo World Report because this is going to come out before the review comes out.
Are you outside of embargo?
It's no longer under embargo. It released late March. It's just that they kind of got around to us shortly after, I think, asking if somebody wanted to review it because they saw that they had a review on NWR for it. So, for the uninitiated, Not Tonight is a series of games now where you are a bouncer for different establishments, and it is much like the game Papers, Please, whereas you are handling a queue of people. You are checking their IDs to make sure that they are of age and that they have valid licenses that are up to date. And then you allow or deny them entry to the space. And the entire goal for the level is you try to let in as many people as possible. There are usually 3 different thresholds. The first one is just like you succeed the level. The next 2 are dollar bonuses on top of that if you reach those number of counts too. And conversely, if you make mistakes enough times, first they'll dock your pay, and then second, if you do it too many times after that, they'll close the show down, you get paid nothing, deal with it. The first game was based off of Brexit, so it's around that. You played a self-insert, non-talkative, like no dialogue character who is more or less stuck in a gulag kind of situation, and they're forced to do these jobs just to pay for like the minimum stuff to survive. And you would choose to let people in or out, not just based on those thresholds, but there would be certain occasions where there'd be unique characters that are trying to get in, and they would like offer you money, or there'd be something that was a story device that if you let them in, it might kind of flesh out different pieces of the story. This handles that with the template now of it being the United States, but not current United States. It is like a future dystopian United States, not like long future, but like next couple of years, kind of casting out, projecting what they think might happen. This is a United States that's been broken up into several different regions. There is the Martyr group, which is sort of an authoritarian military state kind of piece of the country. It's more south and southeast, and then the north and the northwest and the northeast is from, I think they're called the Alliance, and they're the more kind of democratic section off of the country. And then for some reason Canada annexed off the Dakotas and a few other places.
That makes sense to me.
You know,
That makes sense
to
to me.
happen. They were going to take that territory.
yeah, and I mean,
There's a lot of poutine in this game, right?
sure is. At least the first, like, we played this on demo for.
Now here's
a
here's a
ways
question:
back.
If you guys ever had poutine,
Yes.
Summer Game
Yes.
Fest was the only time I think I had it.
it's delicious.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I imagine that poutine from Canada is a lot better. I'm not sure I'd want it to be doled out to me in front of a bar that I was going into, but
Okay.
I mean, to each their own. But
Yeah, that's what it was. You had like a poutine machine that you could
they did the right
give to
color
people as you-
poutine to people.
as you let them in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And as a refresher for you guys, the story revolves around 4 different friends. One of them is abducted from the group while they're protesting in front of a bar by kind of an ICE type organization, like Immigration Services. They abduct him, take him down to Florida to a detention center, and basically say, you can go once you get proof of not residence, citizenship, and then for some reason a family tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they explain some of that as you go through the story, but it's very strange on its face that that'd be an identifier. So he gets abducted, and then from there, you play in 3 successive sections where it's the story arc of the 3 individual characters or friends that are trying to save him. And so the first one, you're going cross-country, east and northeast. You find your way into Canada, you do the poutine machine stuff. That's an example of how they layer on different systems on top of just the very boilerplate, check the IDs. So in that case, it was giving them the right poutine. In another case, it was you're in a medieval times kind of thing, and only knights are allowed in, and you have to kick out the wizards. And then, there are wizards that are floating on balloons trying to sneak in. You have to shoot them out of the sky. Okay.
That's what?
Are they from the moon?
No.
Probably.
Unfortunately not. They'd be much better wizards if they were.
Tinklebot.
I miss Dinklebot. They shouldn't have removed him.
Agreed.
He was dry in like the best kind of way.
I thought it was excellent.
But so they start with that, and then you have the story of him trying to get to Florida. You then have the second friend who's going more south towards Florida, and then you have the third friend that comes through and loops through Los Angeles and then goes around the border of the United States. And each of those are earmarked by different pit stops in between. And like one of the cool things from the first game to this one is that you've got that basic check entry kind of thing, but in between the levels, you're actually moving across the country in different paths, and it almost plays like a kind of Oregon Trail kind of thing. So it'll have you going across the country. There'll be like a pit stop somewhere. I think in the demo, the example was you go to a diner because you need to use the bathroom, and it's this dingy, scary thing. They tell you
you
have
sick
to
if you eat the food, right?
Yeah, they tell you have to pay to use the bathroom, and boy, don't eat the soup. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we die from it, or did you lose hit points or something like that?
If I remember right, it's like you pass out and then it's game over and implied that you're dying or gonna die there.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's what it was.
And each time you die, it'll give like, this is how so-and-so stories end. And if you continue, it just gives you like, this is not how the story ends. And they have a profile of a Polaroid photo of them, and they show them the profile all beaten up, and then they slowly draw back to the way they're normally supposed to look, almost kind of like Street Fighter when you get beat up and you continue. This game is such an expansion on the original game, where I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but they really fleshed it out in a way that elevates it highly against the original. And part of it helps that it's based in the U.S. because a lot of it's more relatable than what Brexit is. I mean, Brexit was sort of an outside looking in. This is from a inside, somebody telling me how they perceive it, because I think they're based in the UK, the developer Panic Barn, and their publishers No More Robots. So we do have some back and forth with them sometimes as well. But the story is a blunt force object. So if you have certain beliefs or predilections, you're like, this is you're going to lean more on the liberal side of things if you find this relatable, right? Because you get through sections and there's pandemics going on in the middle of the country. Like you go through Chicago and you have to wear a mask, and there's also people that'll tell you like, oh, masks are muzzles, talk about like, freedom and stuff like that. But the weird thing is that while it's coming out on Switch now, this game was made in 2020. So like it was coinciding with a lot of the COVID stuff to a degree where it feels timely in an uncomfortable way. It feels like it was very like too soon
Yeah.
thing going on.
We don't need the game about this now. It's too early. Do you feel like you liked the additions to it?
I do. I think that's
they're additive.
Yes, they're little like nagging things that I didn't like, but broadly speaking, once you get past the couple levels, pretty much every place has a very distinctive additional thing that you need to account for. We talked about a few of them. I don't want to divulge too many, but there's another one where you're in Vegas, and it's the last casino that exists in Vegas. And besides checking the IDs, for each person, you draw a card, and then you have to guess whether their card's high or low. And then if you guess wrong, you get dinged for it, right?
That's
but they also,
not fair.
Well, they got a limited use button though, where it'll scan and show you what card it is. So like, there's 5 gimmies that they give you in that case, and it's one of those things that like, as long as you don't hit the threshold of being docked pay, the NPCs aren't going to say anything from a story point, right? And they basically say good job. If they get to the dock your pay point, they'll mention in passing, and then they'll really berate you if you failed the job entirely. And so like they've had good distinctions to that. There's also different meters, so you have to account for health, morale, and then cash. So you need a certain amount of cash to make it to every waypoint. But for every job you do, you lose 10 health. And then if you make wrong dialogue choices or just bad general choices, you lose morale based off of the feedback you get from who you're speaking to. And the way you can regain some of that for the most part is there's a shady organization called Map O that's tracking you throughout this entire experience. And there's separate different objectives for each level. 3 of them. 1, if you get right, you'll get extra health. 1, you'll get extra morale. And 1, you'll get extra cash. So if you complete those side objectives, you can then get refilled that way, and that'll sustain you. For example, in the first place, did anybody else play the first Not Tonight? Or was that just me?
And just Alex.
Okay.
No, I beat it.
Okay. Do you remember the pub owner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. You encountered him in the first place in Seattle, and he has had a rough go at it. He in the first game, he left UK because it was like Brexit is ruining things. I gotta get out of here. Yeah. His travels has not treated him well. He was a little eccentric there. Now he's like a full tinfoil hat crazy guy, but instead it's a cone on his head that he claims as a surveillance device.
Now, he was always like on the brink. He was always on like, oh, I don't know, things are a little crazy. Yeah, maybe like, they weren't listening to my brain. That. Yeah, so I could see that.
He was always a little eccentric for sure.
Okay.
So you run into like old cast members that are a lot of fun if you played the first one. The new additions of side characters, they're all pretty interesting. Some are likable, a lot of them are terrible, and you just have to put up with it. And this game is largely about making tough choices that don't always feel good for the sake of getting to your end goal. And what I appreciate from this is that the first game was pretty straightforward on story. Like, there was not really any subtext. There's not really any broader themes. This game does have some twists and turns that you don't consider, but then you're confronted with it later on, and it changes the dynamic of the story. It doesn't change who all the enemies are, but it does give you a sense of, like, there are puppet masters at play that are creating broader effects to the world in a way. So...
Oh, so there's a bigger picture to it.
There is. Like, it's a personal story, but the larger systems or governments and people at play, it's usually between the Alliance, the Martyrs, which is the Gestapo more type government, and then Map O. There are these 3 organizations that they come more into play later on in the game. They're just sort of background noise until that, though. So that's part of what develops.
Okay.
You're raising your hand?
Yep, you got to call me. You got to call me. Alex from Super GG Radio. As somebody that has his own personal beat list, how long would you say it is to beat this game?
My experience is close to 7 to 8 hours, maybe.
Okay,
I would say on the quicker end. Like, you're going to run into spots. There are spots in this game where I died, and I thought to myself, I don't know how I could have avoided it. So there's a few spots where it's like trial and error, and you realize, okay, like I should have probably just paid a little better attention.
That was the soup.
That soup was definitely one of them. I learned from my mistakes from the demo on that one.
I bought this on a Steam sale, and then I just never played it. So I'm like, oh, maybe we should play this game. So. I should play this game.
If you liked the first one and you feel
Yes, I
like
did.
you're ready for more, that alone is a good reason to dive into this. But I think you will find it much more expansive than the original and much more compelling.
Okay.
So
I was more curious. I was like really curious about like how the new features really add to it, or if they're just kind of tacked on. This sounds like it feels pretty good. It sounds like they are. It sounds like they really do kind of they uplift everything around it.
it breaks up the monotony, right? Just part of the first game is it's monotonous, just it's more or less the same stuff you're doing every day. Maybe they tweak things a little bit, and it made sense from a story standpoint in that because you are a prisoner just sitting there, you know.
Yeah.
But in this one, they use this new arena of the United States and this broader traveling road trip story to give you a lot of different locales, environments, people, expectations, and dirty deeds that you have to do. So it's it's good. It's really good. I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
Great. Not tonight too. Go play it.
Now,
Alex, did you play it?
Not yet. It's installed on my Steam Deck.
Maybe you should play it.
I should probably play it.
You should probably play it.
I should play it.
Until then, we'll move on to our last segment of the night. Try and keep it quick. Maybe. No, we don't have to. We still got like 2 more hours of podcast, right?
Oh yeah, it's going
at
all night
least.
long.
Yeah.
All night
That's what I like to
long. Ruby Rod.
Super green.
Super green. Super green.
Super green.
So green. All right.
Getty, news. Persona 6 is green. I'm serious. That's a news story that people were like, "Oh my God, Persona 6 is green!" And it was like a big deal.
what I want to know is that 3 was a gun, right?
No, 3 was blue.
I'm talking about personas. Like green was gun.
Yeah.
3 was gun.
Card.
4 was TV.
Card.
Right?
Oh, TV.
And then 5
Wait.
was phone.
Wait,
Like-
what are you talking about? Are you talking
Like
about how they
the
summon?
main item that is surround. I'm sorry, 3. I think shooting yourself in the head to create.
No,
a
that's how you
persona.
summon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 is tarot card.
Okay.
5 is mask.
Okay. So what's it's gonna be?
Well, maybe cell phone.
Oh, we don't know. I don't know.
You're just gonna have to play because we're not telling you.
And you ain't playing 3 Reloaded.
No, I'm not. I got it downloaded. I'm probably not gonna play it though.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play
You're
it.
not gonna play
Definitely not play it day one. Definitely not.
I'm not a day one kind of guy. I'm
He's
sorry.
not Joel
no,
Day
it's
One
Day One.
DeWitte.
That's too powerful for me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think you should play like the first hour to 2.
Of the
And then be like,
one
that's like
last
scratching
thing.
the surface. You don't get anywhere with a
One
couple hours.
last thing.
What last thing?
Segue. One last thing, and tonight's one last thing is brought to you by more DLC you didn't know you needed.
Getty. I buy so much of the Persona DLC outfits for like every game, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I want to have some like characters with like different outfits." I bought
Wait,
the
this
season pass, and the season
this is a good
pass.
story.
The season pass is the music, and I was like, "Well, crap. I mean, I guess I could have the music, but I kind of want them to all dress up like the Persona 5 characters." No? Okay. Well, I guess I got to pay another like $5 for that. And oh wait, I can have them in the Persona 4 character outfits. I guess I should probably pay another $4 for that.
Wait. And then I get a text that says, "Man, why can't I equip any of these outfits?"
You gotta go to the you gotta go to the closet.
You gotta go to the it's like one of the first things that the game tells you. You go to the closet to put away your stuff the first night you arrive, and it's like, hey, you should come back to the closet later and get your DLC. So you know what I did the first time I played? I put my stuff in the closet, and then I took out all the DLC.
That's not that.
Alex
That's not
like
that
4
ridiculous.
months in.
That's not that ridiculous. It was a one.
4 months in.
It was a one-note line that I forgot about 30 hours into the game.
3 months in,
30 hours,
or 3 months.
It's the same thing.
Anyway, now that we're done shouting about Persona DLC, my one last thing, I finally started Final Fantasy VII, or whatever this thing is. I don't know. There's a lot going on. I'll have to tell you about it sometime, but for right now, I am overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that they're throwing at me. Alex?
I was waiting for more out of that sentence, and nothing came of it. I'm excited for the weekend. I'm kind of like, there are games that are coming out that I am very kind of upset by, not by upset in a way that I'm angry, but more like sequels are coming out. How about that? And I want to play the early games first, and I don't know which one. Like you were talking about Not Tonight, and I'm like, well, I should probably play Not Tonight too. And then also I'm like, well, I really want to play Alan Wake 2, so I should probably play Alan Wake 1. And I'm like, okay, so I'll install that. Also, the Ender Lilies sequel is like coming out kind of soon. I was like, I should probably play Ender Lilies 1. I don't know where to go. There's too many games that I'm like, I don't know where to start the pre-game to start the next game. They're all good.
Well, time-wise, because I know that's your biggest concern, you'd probably be playing Not Tonight.
I mean, what I end up doing is I end up looking at TikTok or Instagram for
4 hours at a time.
Yeah. I give up watching Riverdale for like another 4 hours of no plot stories that don't make sense.
Man, I feel light as a feather not having TikTok installed on my phone.
I can't.
I'm living my best life.
It's my burden. I get it.
Right now the burden is I'm like, I should just fit it. I gotta push through Riverdale. It's like I have like 40 more episodes an hour each. Then I'm done with it forever.
No,
Joel,
it's not
No,
true.
they're gonna come out with another season.
No, they all left. Joel, you're up.
Thanks. Speaking of things keeping me from beating games, Helldivers 2, it's legit, guys. It's really good, really dumb. I'm not a big multiplayer person thing, but the chaos you can create in that just by friendly fire alone, and the big booms they offer you to blow up stuff, it's crazy. And there's robots, and then there's bugs, and robots just feels like Terminator Future War. It's very cool. It's very cool.
It's also fun because we're playing with our friend of the podcast, Damage Boost Brock, and he will drop like, oh, I have this laser friend that will shoot the enemies, and it'll just do a sweeping laser and kill half the team. And he's like, wait, why did everyone die? I'll res everybody. And I'm like, Brock, you just killed me. He goes, I don't remember that. But when I die, it says killed by Damage Boost Brock, and I'm like, Brock, it said it. And he goes,
yes.
The game's buggy. The game has mistakes.
Yeah, it's just a destructive.
It's propaganda.
It's just a destructive playground. But that's all it needs to be. It needs to just be a venue for friends to hook up and kill stuff and cause mayhem.
Yeah,
Hook up and find the wettest mouth in the world.
No.
Oh God, nope. That's not what anyone said here.
Just tying it back to a previous segment. Alec.
I'm excited about D&D this weekend. That's what I got going for me right now.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Because Getty's the DM. He's like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
What I'm gonna do to you.
We were definitely taking wagers on the side on how long it's going to take before Strahd kills us.
They made it to the castle, and they're still severely underleveled.
Severely underleveled.
Severely underleveled.
Oh, Getty, you don't realize Alex telling me the entire way. He's like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, Alex is the voice of reason, and he's not even there.
No. I'm over here like, you should probably do this, and he goes, but you're not here to tell us that.
You're not even there. Should probably no. Okay, got it. I'd really try and drop hints too. Well, we'll find out what happens this week at Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe we make it out. Maybe everybody dies a horrible death.
Either way, we have fun.
Yeah, it's still fun hanging out with your friends. All right. And that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, like tonight, are podcast night. Come watch us make clowns out of ourselves. Maybe you're listening to the audio only format. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wednesdays.
Oh, and also, I want to shout out that we do have an interview on the podcast feed. Bonus session interview with Wild Gentleman, the team that developers of Chicken Police, Bonk. I want to say Bonk. I had an interview with him, and it was so much fun. That guy's awesome. And Chicken Police is awesome. And I think that you should listen to that interview because I love Chicken Police.
Alex is working his way into doing voiceover work for them.
I got one voice, and it's gonna be good.
All right. Wednesdays, Alex's Monster Hunter and Chill.
That's still going on?
Except for,
real thing. It's still a thing.
Monday, Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
I mean, again, unless me and Brock are
Unless you wanted
hell diving. You want to hell dive?
Isn't it?
Exporting some freedom.
You're spreading.
I mean, that's what we did. I mean, I gave some robots a big cup of Liberty, like last night. So I don't know what else you want from me, Getty.
Boo this man.
No, that's what they say in the game.
From the game.
That's a line from the game. I'm quoting the game. I throw a grenade and my character goes, "Democracy!" Like a long time. It's like a really loud voice clip.
It's so ridiculous.
It's Helldivers 2 is. It's a good game.
Still
I don't think that video games have peaked.
No, it'll peak when there's the crossover with Deep Rock.
Okay, I can get behind that.
You know, I did see some underground hell diving.
Oh, you know we can.
Double diving? Mondays, Joel is being the bad guy in Mass Effect.
I'm finding it's a lot easier to be the bad guy when you're playing a good game.
Wow. Is that a critique of Disco?
A little bit. I also think I owe some Lion King this week because I'm pretty sure I said BS at some point.
You did.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but I think I also owe it at some point too because I also said a swear last week. But
This is a scratch this week.
Yeah?
Like, we're all going to horny jail.
This is a gimme.
no, I think last week was horny jail with Stellar Blade. Joel, you should probably play the demo for Stellar Blade.
I don't want to.
It's real.
Joel, do you like Nier?
I do like Nier.
You will like this game, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your children.
I've got enough
Just tell
games
them
to
not to
play
come
that
in
I
the
can't
room.
play
Just
around
the
my
demo.
kids. Like,
We're talking
Just the demo.
Just the demo.
Just the demo in your private time. Joel, play this in your private time.
Yeah.
Like Kelly goes to bed and says,
to a spare room and close the
"Hey,
doors."
Kelly, I'm gonna stay awake for a little bit. You go to bed. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I still play a little Stellar Blade."
It's too much. It's too much to handle.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Two honey hams kissing underneath the
Oh,
mistletoe.
no.
If you catch my meaning.
Nope. What's next? Get out of here, Getty.
I think, in the words of Alex, clapping without your hands. and we're canceled. All right. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty. This is the episode.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
What should have been a landmarked episode for the GG fighters turned into a fight for the ages. Will Getty reach the breaking point with rumor and speculation? Will Joel succumb to the power of the Triple I Initiative? And will Alec trade in his Android for an iPhone? Find out next time on Super GG Radio.